What up? What up? Welcome to another episode of Freeforall Fridays, the CM show Freeforall Fridays. It is me and my special guest host, Casey Carter. Say what's up to the people, Casey. That way I can sneak do a mic check, at the same time. But I'm gonna be real slick with it. Hold up. Hold on. Real slick with it. Okay, got you. All right, so you are not there. It's always something, man. It's always. I swear to God, it wouldn't be fun if we weren't doing this thing, man. All right, let's see. All right, let's unhide. Oh shit. Always fucking something. All right, hold on. Let's do this because I need to be able to monitor. Oh shit. Okay. All right, Casey, let me hear you, man. You silly with it. Okay. We gonna get this shit right. One of these fucking days. One of these days, man. One of these days. Oh, Lorenzo in the chat, my man. All right, let's see. Icon. Oh, I see the problem. It might help if I actually defaulted there and then, let me do. All right, let's apply that. And then do that. Come on. Oh. And of course, now it's just lagging. You still here? All right, good.
I'm here.
Okay. So what's up to the 5 people in the chat tonight? Let me go through everything right quick. Casey, let me hear you, man.
Microphone check 1 2 1 2.
Okay, hold on. There you go. We can hear you loud and clear. Woo! All right, what up, y'all? I am Christopher Markland, author, podcaster, writer, reviewer. Oh, I guess the author is a writer. Anyway, I'm all of that. Casey, tell the people about yourself, ma'am.
I am a sadist, an erotic author. Sadist. Ooh, I love inflicting pain.
And I see you got the
cigar. Erotic author. Oh yeah, cigar aficionado. I host 2 shows, Casey at Night on Wednesdays at 7, and Exotica TV's Boob Tube, also Wednesday at 9.
We see them.
Well, pun intended, I guess.
Well, you know what? On that note, let me do a little bit of a warning, a little bit of a disclaimer, okay? In case you turn that down just a little bit. This is an adult show. So therefore, as you can see on the screen, if you are offended by adult language and content, this probably ain't the show for you, especially with my co-host Casey, because you never know what she's gonna say. Me, I am as meek and as mild and as humble as they come. If y'all can see the aggressive eye roll that she just gave me when I said that, I don't appreciate that, madam. Don't appreciate that. Anyway, let's get into it tonight. Y'all can see the topics on the screen, and you know what? First, let me shout out people in the chat. There we go. Lorenzo, what up, man? Thank you for joining the conversation. Thank you. And you're right, Casey is an icon. Definitely an icon.
Thank you very much.
She's so humble with it. I love it. So, first things first, up on tonight's agenda, let's talk about Ciara. Now, Ciara, she is married to one Russell Wilson, and I get it. I understand that she is a very, very beautiful woman. However, you know what? I always like getting into it. I always just want to be jumping right into it. Let's get into let's let her speak for herself. Now, I don't have the audio playing because I ain't trying to get them copyright strikes and I ain't trying to pay that. But that's Miss Ciara Wilson, married to Russell Wilson, twerking in a damn Ford Bronco. I'm sorry. Now, let's look at something else. Let's look at this one. Nope, not that one. There we go. It's like, okay, now, what's your opinion on you know what? First, I'm gonna start it off. I'm gonna start it off because I'm gonna speak for my dudes out there. Let's go. Now, I get it. Ciara is her own woman. She's a grown ass woman. She's an adult. She's a mother of, I want to say, is it 2 kids? I don't know. However, y'all can see that picture on the screen right there. All I'm saying is, God damn, there comes a point in time, in my opinion, that it's like, how much is enough? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just a prude. I don't know. But it's like, damn, Ciara, come on, man. Come on. I mean, we all us dudes, we all want that quote unquote freak in the sheets and all that other stuff. But damn, it seems to me like Ciara's a freak in the streets, because it's one thing. Okay, she's speaking of the streets, my man Future said she's for the streets, right? I don't agree with that, but yeah, because you know that is the mother of his kids, of his child. However, it's like, is it too much right now? That's just what I keep thinking, because every time you turn around, when you hear about her, is she's twerking or doing this or doing that, and Russell likes it. I mean, he likes the comments, and he's all in there, you know, ooh, I see you, ma, and all this other stuff. But I don't know, Casey, what do you think? What do you think?
I think she's a grown ass woman. If she's capable of twerking, twerk away.
If she's capable of twerking, twerk away. Okay, but I'm just saying.
No.
That's it. That's all there.
That's it. Listen, I'm with Amber Rose when it comes to slut shaming. That's a no. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm not. Am I slut shaming?
Yes, because you're asking why mother of 2 is she out here in these streets twerking. I say, if she can twerk, let the girl twerk.
I got you. I did not think.
I mean, that's like telling me. Strap it down. Why you out here? You mother of 2. Why you out here? You 53 years old and you always got your tits out.
Whoa.
Yeah.
You 53?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Ma. But okay. Answer me this. Why do you have the breasticles out then?
Cause they're here.
Okay.
And like I said about Ciara, she can twerk. I can do this.
Got you. You know what? I can't argue with that. I can't argue with that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am not opposed to the breasticles being out.
Right. So then you shouldn't have a problem with Ciara twerking.
Okay. Let me ask you this. If your dude was like, hey, I am a big fan of the breasticles. However, I don't think the breasticles should be exposed as much, what would your response be?
My response would be, okay, so then if I wear a top up to here and it's skin tight, they still out.
So it's like no matter what you do, the girls will
They're
be
here.
shown. Gotcha.
They're there.
Okay, I got you.
So,
all right. Hey, let's move on to the next one. So next up, I love it. Will Smith. All right, y'all remember the slap heard around the world. Ooh, yeah. Casey, hey, y'all should know that before we came on, Casey was amped up. Oh, hold on. Let me go back one because in the chat, Taisha, she's like, I agree with her. Okay, I'll just say.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, you know. You know what? I knew that on this particular topic, us, the men and the women, were not going to be on the same page. We were not going to see eye to eye. So I wasn't surprised.
But let me ask you, Chris, what is it that we're not seeing eye to eye on? You said you like her twerking, but what's the problem with her twerking?
Okay. From a penicular point of view, the penis does like to see her twerk. I'm not. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Not the fan. All right. So I definitely, am a fan of the twerking. I love to see a woman twerk, and she is a very talented twerker. It's just a matter of the image, I guess, of it, because it's one thing if she was still in the. No, hear me out. Okay, man, the fan went down, the face got stern. Hey, all I'm saying is this. I hate it. I know it sounds patriarchal and all of that, but she's married to this dude, right? Who is one of a few black quarterbacks in the league. Now it'd be one thing if she was still kicking it with Future and what's his name, Amari Stoudemire, in that aspect of it. But you also got to understand that Russell Wilson seems to be cut from a different cloth. So it's just something about the optics of it that aren't necessarily. the best. I understand it. You know me. I am about as man shit. I let it. Hey, do you? As long as we got two consenting adults, run it. However, there are certain things that have to be. It's just the optics, because even with all that I do, everything that it's still there's a certain level of discretion, I guess is the way of putting it. Now, don't get me wrong. She's not out there butt booty ass naked, making that thing pop. She's not. In fact, I wish I could find that other video. I get it. She's not doing that. It's just a matter of, like I said, the optics of it are what I would guess I would say are problematic, is the best way I can put it.
And that sounds very Stepford wife to me.
Ooh, not the Stepford wife. All right.
Yeah.
I can rock with that.
Because the reason why I say that too is women are constantly being told what to do, what not to do, what's appropriate, what's inappropriate. And my issue with that is, why are we trying to control women and their bodies?
Yeah. You see that comment? Ty said, she says, "Hey, I'm looking for a twerk class, right?"
And good for you. They got plenty out there.
Yeah. What's
Naomi Bolsay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
She does a twerk class.
She does.
I was just at Exotica. They had twerk class at Exotica.
I'm gonna trust what Lorenzo's saying right here. I'm gonna let that one go. So, yeah. I'm gonna Michael Jackson my black ass up out of here, and I'm gonna moonwalk on to the next topic. And then we're gonna talk about that. You right? Hey, I know when to hold them. I know when to fold them, and I know when
to walk away.
Walk away, and your boy's walking. So, all right.
Why didn't you apologize to Chris in your acceptance speech? I was fogged out by that point. It's all fuzzy.
Hello?
I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out. So I will say to you, Chris, I apologize to you. My behavior was unacceptable, and I'm here whenever you're ready to talk.
All right, Casey, I'm gonna let you have this one. What you got? What's your opinion of Mr. Will Smith apologizing to Chris Rock for the slap?
First of all, I didn't get to hear the actual apology.
Okay,
but
gotcha.
But let me say this about the punk bitch.
Ooh, who are we referring to that's a punk bitch? I would like to know.
Will Smith. Will Smith.
Yes, ma'am.
Here's the problem. The problem is you slapped a dude for cracking a joke about your wife. And as I have said on many occasions, this ain't the first time Jada has worn her hair short. Jada has always worn her hair short. Now all of a sudden it matters because she's got alopecia. Okay. But she looked cute as fuck. Fly as hell. And I did think the joke was funny. Now, the fact that you slapped him after she gave you the eye, because you was tee-hee-heeing at the joke. Your dumb ass got up, walked up on the stage, slapped this dude in your Kanye moment, and yet I don't see you doing anything about all the men who said they fucked her.
Ooh.
So, yeah. And what's with all the cuts? You produced that video. You need to do like everybody else, get you that single phone camera and say, I'm sorry if you're going to say sorry. But you, dude, how long ago did that happen? How long ago did that happen? And you apologized to the Academy first.
Thank you.
You apologized to them because they revoked your privileges.
What up, DJ? Yeah.
So,
that's the problem I had with it. It's like, bruh, it's like from one black man to another. I looked at it in that way, from one black man to another. And it's not like they didn't know each other. They've actually been in, I want to say, at least 2 movies together. Don't get me wrong, they were animated, but they were still working. They were still co-workers. So it's like, and it was on a night that Will was receiving an honor that maybe 3 or 4 other black men have received, and here it is, you get caught up on some dumb shit. When I tell you it, I didn't see it live, but it's like, bro, of all the things you could have done, like you just said, Casey, a Kanye moment. Kanye ran his ass up on the stage, but he just took the mic. Will could have took the mic and said anything, but instead you put hands on the dude, and I guarantee if he wouldn't have ran his ass up there if what's his name? Is it Terry Crews?
Terry Crews.
Yeah, if he was hosting, or if The Rock was hosting, or anybody else, he damn sure wouldn't have done that. You know what I'm saying?
But you knew you could walk
the right
up on
with
the
Chris Rock. Hell yeah. That shit there pissed me off.
It was a bitch move that night, and this apology is another bitch move.
Yeah, we wholeheartedly agree. We didn't have to set the time clock on that one because we're on the same page with that. And also what pissed me off, Will Smith has built such a brilliant legacy for a man of his age. You know, starting, you know, with his rap style, the clean rap as it were, you know, and then, you know, moving on to the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and then all of the other stuff that he's done, and all of that shit has been pretty much eliminated. You know, it doesn't have the same shine as, you know, after, you know, that slap. He basically did all of that shit. And I ain't trying to blame Jada, but god damn it, Jada. If you see your dude getting his dumb ass up, man, you better tackle that, man.
No. You don't understand. He got up after she gave him the eye. And, you know, Lorenzo makes a good point by saying because he's a cuck. He is a cuckold man. Period.
I am going to ask you to delve into that just a little bit more. What is a cuckolded man, if you don't mind, please?
A cuckolded man is a man whose wife, woman, female partner basically emasculates him with her relationships with other men.
Okay.
So, like I said earlier, we all know about the other men that she's fucked, and he hasn't had too much to say about that.
Nope.
This, on the other hand, and again, like I said, she gave him that look. And, you know, those of you with a partner, you know the look.
Yeah.
You know the look. Yeah. She gave him the look, and he jumped.
And what's
so
crazy
I would not be surprised if Will has been in the room or somewhere where he could be a voyeur to her little moments.
Really? That's extreme. Part of, you know what?
No.
Wow. Okay. Well, you know what? They still powerful in this industry, so I'm a moonwalk away from this one too. Just saying. Woo! So, all right. Next up on this. Hey, also, what up, DJ? Thank you for joining the conversation tonight. Next up, we have a young lady and a young dude. And some more bullshit. You know what? Dating in today's day and age, man, it's a cesspool. You know what I'm saying? And I fear for my son because it's like, Jesus, man, it's crazy. Anyway, let's let the video play. If I can get it to play. All right. That's weird. Anyway, while I get this thing to load up, because it never fails, it's always got something. Anyway, and
like you really just should have paid for all of our food.
For one, I'm not paying for everybody's food. It's your birthday, cool, but I'm not doing that. It's 18.
Why do you gotta pay for all y'all food though?
You right.
18 of her friends. So just to fill in those that have come in, right? That just joined the conversation. 18. It's her birthday, so she invites 18 of her friends, and then she expects her dude to pay for it. Now I know what we were just talking about with Will, and I guess he could afford it, but to me the level of disrespect on her part. In fact, hold on. Okay, the level of disrespect to me on her part for bringing her 18 friends and then expecting this dude to pay for it. And then on top of that, not only that, then to call him broke. If you broke, just say so. Ma'am, come on now. That to me is a level of inconsiderate behavior that I am just shocked. Because it's like, for you to even think that about him, I'm not And I'm gonna play the second part, and it's gonna make sense as to why he moves the way he does, and it kind of ties back into what Lorenzo was just saying, about behavior and what you just went into, and Taisha, yeah, she said it. She's dumb and stupid. However, it seems to be infiltrating that type of mentality, that type of mindset into women who are older. Casey, what do you have to say on that one?
So, I have two 20-something-year-old kids.
Okay.
And this would never happen with either one of my kids because, I trained them up in the way to go so we wouldn't have these kind of problems.
There you go.
But I believe, I agree with Taisha in that young and stupid, young and dumb, young and all of that. But you also have to take into consideration that today's kids are influenced by everything we see on social media.
Man,
so they just want to floss. They want to be styling and profiling, and they want some dude or whoever partner, because I can't, I don't want to. I don't want to project my hetero experience, but they want someone to pay for the lavish lifestyles they see on social media. There ain't a whole lot to say for stupid.
You know what? I agree with that. Now, let me ask you this. In fact, let me play this clip first, because the next clip, right? You saw basically what, he had to say. It seemed like he was standing his ground. He was on it, right? Now, let's look at... Okay, there we go. Now, you heard, it seemed like he was standing his ground like, yo, I'm not doing that. He was like, okay, bro, we see you, right? We see you. Then all of a sudden, it's a whole different ball game because...
You want to let me back in? Like, let's talk about the situation.
Please let you back in. My mom said you can't stay up by house. My mom
What's the problem then? What was so embarrassing about it?
It was disrespectful.
How? Okay, so tell me what's disrespectful. Tell me what you want fixed. I'll fix it. What?
The whole thing.
Tell me what you want to do. What to fix it? It's that simple. You just want to have an attitude. What else?
That motherfucker how you better be allowed to
I tell you what, you want to get on my knees or something?
Boy, you better not get
I apologize. I shouldn't have disrespected you. I should have got you gifts. All of that.
Oh, see the boys down one.
And that's my baby still.
I am so embarrassed for that young man. When I tell you, the first video pissed me off enough, but to see this dude, I'm so sorry, and then get down on a knee, man, ain't no wop in the world that fantastical that it's gonna make you do that. You gotta have some level of self-respect, and that goes back to what Lorenzo was just saying as far as, come on, man. You cannot do that. You cannot carry yourself as a man, because there's no way in hell she's going to have any respect for you moving forward. Stand your ground, stay, and be like, hey, no, that ain't happening. But what do you want me to do? Because she disrespected you, but now you're like, she's telling you that you disrespected her and you go along with it? Man, hell no. Hell no. What you got, Casey?
Well, again, this goes back to how this generation is being raised, and whether or not dude had a strong positive male figure in his life, or better yet, as a woman who raised a young man, whether or not he had a woman who, tried to instill in him what is allowable from his partner.
Yeah.
And I can't say much other than to say there's a lot of young men who live in their feelings, and there's a lot of young men who will take that kind of shit, and it's sad. I don't tolerate that in my daughter's partners, and I certainly don't tolerate that behavior in my son's partners. And I don't know how old the young man is, but he probably has a mom who's less than 20 years older than him, or didn't,
there is that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm 53. my kids are being raised off of the generation that I came up in. Mm-hmm. And so I have a standard for both my behavior and the behavior of my partner.
You gotta have standards, yes. Gotta have
standards. And like I said to you too, you have these girls or these people who want to live the life they see on social media. And that's not just for the celebrity status. That's for some of the other folks who be flossing and renting that lavish night.
Yes. Yeah, that shit that started back on MTV Cribs and all the other dumb shit, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. You make it look good for that night, and then you go home and you sleeping on the mattress on the floor.
Yep.
So
but when you go live, that shit looks good though, right?
It does. Yeah. And the problem is we only see the live. We don't see the real life. We don't see them get into that, that hoopty. We don't see them go back to their apartment in the projects. Yep. We don't see them having to return the outfits that they wore the night before. So
it's craziness, man. It's absolutely crazy. Now, speaking of, the things that we don't see, let's talk about this one. So, in New York, this bishop was at, you know what? I'll be getting amped up. I'd like to get into it because it shit makes absolutely no sense. Again, let's see. So this man's in the pulpit now. They came in random pockets in church, mind you. In church. Now, something I'm very impressed with, you see that dude, on the left side of the screen? This man is just sitting there calm as shit while they're robbing the hell out of this dude. That man has got the patience of Job. That man. So this is during church now, and my man is streaming live. He is live streaming. Now, this is what he had to say after the fact.
A few weeks later, today, we were in church during morning service. And as I was preaching, I seen 3 to 4 armed men come in. And I just told my church, because see, when you're a shepherd, right, you have to lead your sheep. You have to lead your sheep, you have to protect your sheep. And when I seen the armed men come in, it was specifically for me. It was specifically for me and of course my wife. And when I seen them come into the sanctuary with their guns, I told everybody get out. Everybody just get out. Right? Everybody get out. I didn't know if they wanted to shoot the church up or if they was just coming for robbery. And they were all black men, and they had masks, but I didn't see their face. And they came in and they took all of my wife's jewelry, took all of my jewelry, and then they left. However, these young men didn't know that cameras were on, and we know what car you was driving. He was driving in a white Mercedes CLA Benz. What car you driving in. And we also know that you switched your clothes in the car. I ran after them. When they turned the guns and went down, I ran after them.
I think that's what happened, Lorenzo. I honestly think that's what happened. So now, the amount of money that they say that was taken was almost $400,000. That's $400,000, right? That's a lot of damn money, right? So now it's starting to come out that it's a little bit fishy. That there's a lot more to this story than he's been letting on, and I tend to agree. So I agree with you, Lorenzo. I agree that for you to have $400,000 of jewelry on in church at the pulpit is either I'm hearing numbers from anywhere from 200 to 400,000. Now I get it, it's New York and stranger things have happened in the Big Apple. However, I think that man, I just get the vibe that this is an inside job. Now, I've seen some crazy shit happen live. I mean, we were just talking about the slap that happened live, right? Will Smith slapped the shit out of Chris Rock live. So some shit does happen. However, it just, I just get the feeling. I maybe it's just my intuition, my instincts are just saying that in the next couple of weeks, we're gonna hear something. We're gonna hear more about this story. But as it stands right now, we're just gonna take it at face value that this did happen. Obviously, it did. I mean, you know that it was a true robbery, because the reason why I'm like, yeah, this just don't sound right. Somebody breaks into your church, and you're talking about you're leading. You know, you're a shepherd that's leading your flock. You're not going to run after them dudes and chase them down to the point that you said you had to go back and get your car keys. You may run out to get the tag number, but you're not going to chase after them. It just don't make no sense to me. What you think, Casey?
Okay, so first and foremost, my issue is, where's security?
Which damn sure wasn't that dude that was just sitting there watching, right?
Because I'm going to tell you, I went to a mega church in Florida. They had armed security in the building. I've been to quite a few churches where they collect that kind of money, where the man in the pulpit had, you know, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 suit, had all of that expensive stuff. I ain't never seen nothing like that happen in those places because they have security.
Yep. You know,
right?
And the
fact that someone could have done that, it has to be an inside job. And yeah, it very well could be for insurance purposes. But I'm gonna tell you, in the real world of that level of ministry, I'll be damned if you're gonna get up on the pulpit like that.
Man,
and
what?
dress the way they were dressed. Oh no, baby. No, that's not a minstrel service right there. That's somebody who was up in the building already had the situation set. Yep. So yeah, no, no, I don't care what his story is. That's some bullshit right there.
Yep. And you see, and it's like, man, if you're gonna be having that much, if you don't even have some of your homeboys in the back, that's like, hey, if you see, you know, you're gonna have something. So, the math just ain't mathing on that one. I'm sorry, I just don't see it.
No, and again, your boys aren't in the back. Some of the security is sitting right there in the front row. Some of the security is sitting right there, if not right there in the shadows of your pulpit situation. No, baby. No sympathy here.
None. Because like I said, I went to World Chamber. Used to be a member of World Chambers Church. Creflo Dollar. And when I tell you, if anybody even walked close to the stage, security got up. You know what I'm saying? Now, they weren't intrusive with it. You know, they didn't make it a scene. They were true professionals. But you weren't about to get close to that man. No, not going to happen. So this right here is just some absolute... Yeah, I really get inside job vibes off of this one. Mm-hmm. Now, speaking of inside vibes, now, you remember my man Ryan Coogler a couple, maybe a year or two, because it was during the pandemic. One of the things that happened was, you know, and with this one, I'm not going to play it. We're just going to talk about this one. But one of the things that happened with him was he went to the bank to make a withdrawal. You know, and but he's got like anxiety kind of thing. So he's like, he put it on a note that, hey, he didn't want to have the teller give him the money, as far as, excuse me, man. He didn't want the teller just to hand the money, because this was in East Atlanta. So he put it in there like, yo, just do me a favor, just put the money in a bag or whatever. Well, that didn't necessarily go over the way that he thought it would. So here it is. When I saw the trailer for this movie, when I tell you it is just an absolute marvel. And I say that pun intended. I'm not playing the audio because, again, I'm not trying to fight Disney, you know, when it comes to that copyright stuff. But I'm not sure if you saw it. I'm a huge Marvel fan. I just went and saw the last movie. When I tell you, when I saw the trailer right there, I was just blown away. You know,
in this great future, you can't forget your past. So dry your tears, I said.
And it was crazy. Black women
based on the budget
Yeah.
they gave the Black Panther, right? Like, again, being the Marvel fan that I am, I became a new level Marvel fan because they gave the Black Panther the same budget they gave to Captain America, the same budget they gave to Avengers, the same budget they gave to Iron Man. And you saw how successful Black Panther was. And so, not surprised there's a sequel because Marvel has committed themselves to putting all their characters out. All the characters, main characters, sub-characters, sub-sub-characters. So, you know, I applaud them for being committed to that. But I think more importantly, I applaud them for even continuing on knowing that we have lost the Black Panther, you know. And so their commitment to the movie is definitely made me an even bigger fan. Yeah. Especially because some of that gets filmed in Georgia.
Yeah, that, so not only did he bring some money to the economy here, hell yeah, man. And also with this next the Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever, one of the things that the Mexican community they're amped up too because it's introducing Namor, and the actor that's playing it is of Mexican descent, and it's like the inclusion that is in this movie, where not only are you going to have, you know, blacks, but you're going to have, you know, Latinos. It's going to be a powerful thing. The level of costumes and cosplay when this thing drops in November, Lord, it's going to be fantastic, man.
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing because, for example, if you've got Disney Plus, I think it's Ms. Marvel. Yeah. Is the series on Disney Plus, and the main character is a young Indian girl. Right. And it is about this young Indian girl. It's not, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, Marvel has committed to their characters, and they've committed to being true to who they say these characters are. They're not trying to, you know, using West Side Story as an example. Not the most recent one, but the original one. You know, we're not using white faces to represent an entire culture that don't look anything like the white faces.
Man, little things like that inclusion is such a, I mean, it's such a powerful thing, and it's like
that representation. Yes. You know, representation is everything. You want my dollar? Show me on the screen.
Yep. You got to, man. And here's the thing. I think that we've shown that if we get it, we will show up. We will show up, and we will give you that money. Because if I recall, didn't Black Panther gross about $1 billion?
Oh, it broke records.
Yeah. Now speaking of records, I'm telling you. Now speaking of $1 billion, the next Mega Millions, which is tonight. And you know what's crazy? I have not bought a ticket, but the next Mega Millions drawing is tonight. And that right there is, it's a lot of damn money on the table, man. It's a lot of damn money.
Jackpot winner in last night's Mega Million drawing, and the prize continues to grow. The jackpot now over $1 billion, marking the third largest Mega Millions jackpot prize in the game's 20-year history. The next drawing will be Friday night at 11 o'clock.
$15 worth of tickets, and I got one number.
You know what? I'm one of those people, man. I never really go buy a lottery ticket. I just never have. I get it. It's $1 billion, and I damn sure ain't bought a ticket now. What about you?
No, I haven't, but my mom does. Yeah. And you know, she likes to play the what if game, so she's got a whole plan for what would happen if she hit any level of money. And you know, it's fascinating to me that as of late, these lottery numbers have been getting as big as they have.
Man, I mean, it's crazy to me. It's like $1 billion, and I think the odds of anybody winning it, if I can find my notes, is like 1 in 300 and something thousand. And of course, I don't have it in front of me. I'm like, that is crazy numbers, but people are just coming in. Here we go. People are coming in droves to get it. And I'm like, that's crazy to me. Now tell me this though: if you were to win, what would you? How would? I mean, shit, $1 billion, you can buy the planet. What would you do?
I would first and foremost get an attorney. Then I would establish trust. I would establish a trust for my kids. I'd establish a trust for myself, and then pursue charitable endeavors. You know, I have the desire to build, affordable housing, but first time home buyers, affordable housing. I'd love to be able to finance some of these people in their first time home purchases. You know, build the home, finance the home for them. You know, it just anything to help people help themselves.
That is very, very, And now, answer me this though: why would you do a trust?
Okay, so if for some reason something happens to me, the money, what happens to my estate would already be settled. There wouldn't be a need for probate. There wouldn't be a need for who's getting the money, what's going to be done with the money. These things would be established. The money would be safe. Property would be safe.
What about the tax protection?
Well, yeah, tax protection, and then, but just in terms of my living right now, I could live off the interest, and the trust could be issuing me a check every month. So it's just a matter of protecting the assets.
The reason why I asked you that about, specifically about the tax, it's a $1.1 billion jackpot. At least it was earlier today when I was prepping for the show. So it's probably a little bit higher. They said that most people choose the cash option, which means that they're going to get $648 million, right? Now, the odds of somebody winning that are 1 in 302.5 million. However, let's go back to the taxes. Of that 648, you're looking at 37% is going to be going to taxes, which is about 400. No, they'll be getting about 408 million, right? Now, if you add in, usually there's going to be another 13%. So you're looking at an additional $239 million taken out in taxes. So roughly of your 648, when it's all said and done, you bringing home about 300. Don't get me wrong, it's 300 million. You can probably buy a couple Big Macs with that. But that's still a hell of a lot of money that's coming out to taxes. So what you're saying, the strategy that you have as far as getting, a trust, you got to. If you know that, I think that, a lot of people that win, even the person that wins this, if they don't have a plan, a true strategy in place, that money's going to be in their fingers and it's going to be gone. You hear them stories all the time about people who, lose their lottery winnings, in like 10 years or so, right? And it's crazy to me. It's like you have that much money and then the next thing you know, that money is gone. That is absolutely insane. And that's because they don't have a plan in place.
Well, especially too, because your life has literally changed in an instant.
Yes.
You are not mentally prepared for living at that level. Right? So it's easy to buy the big house. It's easy to buy all the fancy cars. It's easy to want to go on the trips and buy all the stuff that we just saw on the social media. You know what I'm saying? You start flossing, and then the family comes out the woodworks. Everybody's looking for you to finance their projects. Everybody wants you to do this and do that. And, it's very, very easy to spend the money when you're not accustomed to spending that kind of money.
Yeah, you man, and I think that it's the same thing that happens to people who get instant celebrity. If you're not used to certain lifestyles, you think you want it, but it ain't necessarily all that is cracked up to be. Or if you're not ready for the stuff that comes along with it, it's a problem. It's one of those things you hear about, like people when they find a genie and they rub the lamp and I wish for this, and then all of a sudden it's like, shit, maybe I don't want this. The Midas touch. I want everything to turn to gold, and now it's like, shit, I can't eat. You think you want it, but if you're not used to that lifestyle, or if you're not aware of all of the things that come with that particular lifestyle, it's some problems, man. It's some serious. You're gonna have some problems.
Yeah, and a lot of those people too end up having emotional and mental problems.
Yes.
Because of all of the money grubbing, of all everybody with the handout, asking them for this, guilting them for what they won't give them. It's a lot. It is definitely a heavy burden to have that kind of money. And again, this points out there's a difference between being rich and being wealthy. If you get $300 million, you're rich, but you're not wealthy. Wealth comes through generations.
You learn how to, you're groomed, you're prepared for that kind of lifestyle, that kind of life. And you hear people talk about it all the time, the new money and old money. It's a certain way of doing things, and it's like, and going back to your point as well about, the mental health aspect of it. Think about it. You get that kind of money, the people that you grew up with, you can no longer trust them. The people that are your current social circle, you can't trust them because you don't know, are they really your friends or do they want something from you? So now there are new people that come into your atmosphere. You don't know what the hell, do they want to be, your friend or companion just because of the money? So after a while, you become isolated. Because you just can't trust anybody. That is just a crazy, crazy thing to have,
It's not easy.
Nah,
not easy.
Not at all. Speaking of not easy, we're gonna wrap up today's show. And we're going to be talking about, it's not easy to be a good man. That's going to be the topic of conversation. Oh, you're laughing? That's not funny because it's, wait a minute. It's not easy being a good man, Casey.
How do we define a good man?
Well, we're going to talk about that on the show on Tuesday. We're going to talk about that because you know what? It goes back to that video that we just saw with the young man and how he's dropping to his knees and shit. Like, that's not what it takes to be a good man. That's what it takes to be a couple other adjectives, but that's not what it takes to be a good man. I will say this. Go ahead.
But I want to know, like in I don't know, I can't see. I don't have my glasses on. But just in your opinion, and I know you're going to do this on Tuesday, but in your opinion, how do we define a good man? Because there is your perception as a man as to what a good man is. Yes. There's my perception as a woman. Yes. There's my perception as the mother of 2 children as to what a good man looks like. And there are some women who will say a good man is somebody who takes care of me, but they will leave them kids in the cold hungry. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think we need to be clear what the perception.
Okay.
Yeah, because there was a point in time where a good man was somebody who had a decent job, kept a roof over his family's head, and he came home every night, right? That was a simple definition of what a good man was. Okay. But does that really make him a good man if he comes home and doesn't interact with his family? And if, between work and coming home, he makes a stop at the side chick's house, but he's still coming home and he's still bringing everything to family.
Yeah, if you make a dick deposit every now and then,
see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? So we gotta understand there's levels to this game. My son is 21 years old. I have instilled in him certain values for him to carry as a man. You need to be able to support yourself before you try to go off and support some other person. You need to keep yourself clean, have a good job, money in the bank, be able to carry yourself in public so that you don't have to worry about, your name in the streets, if you will. But I'm also having to deposit these things a little at a time, because with too much, he doesn't know what to do with it and is liable to make a mistake. But then also as a single mother, I am making sure that what I bring home to him is an image that I would want him to reflect. So I'm just saying.
You know what? You just raised some excellent points, and we're in agreement as far as what it is that a good man is. The attributes of a good man. I mean, there are certain things as just being responsible, just being, diligent, just being, the provider. All of those things are parts of being a good man. And, one of the things with the conversation, that we are going to have on Tuesday, on the CM show where we're talking about good men, it's also the fact that a lot of good men don't necessarily feel respected, because going back to that clip that we saw, you had a young man that he stood up for himself initially, but just the fact that she brought on 18 of her friends shows that she had no respect for him or his pockets, and then insulted him at the same time by saying, if you broke, just say so. So it's little things like that that are chipping away at the caliber of men that who are trying to be good men. Someone like your son who's 21, who's just now starting to get his way in life. But now if he's not making the six figures and he's got the six pack and no less than 6 inches, then he's not he's all kinds of issues. That is starting to be more and more prevalent, and the good men like your son who are trying to get themselves going, who are working at establishing themselves in this world, don't get the credit that they deserve. So yeah, we're definitely going to be talking about that, because it's like, there are a lot of dudes. Don't get me wrong, it's a lot of fuck boys out there. I am not. It's a lot of fuck boys out there, and
we need that.
To a certain extent, you do need the rake. You do. I mean, I think that fuck boys do keep certain, keeps the society on its toes. I'm not saying that it's a good thing, but it's a necessary evil. I'm just saying. But there are way more good men out there than they are fuck boys. It's just that the fuck boys get all the press, and then things start to get confused.
Yeah, well, and that's the problem. That is definitely the problem. Is the fuck boys, they do get more hype because of that one moment of wet in the sheets, right? Like
that wop.
That not even the wop. What I'm talking about, his wet. You know what I'm saying? He's laying good pipe. He's giving it.
Yeah.
He's making the pussy wet. He's doing all the things that make her physically feel good, and therefore she gets lost in what really is a good man.
Yeah.
It ain't always about making them sheets wet.
I agree. And I think that, the focus has shifted a little bit from the spiritual or the mental more into the physical. And I think that as our society has gotten to be more physically centered, and it's like, it used to be the old saying, what have you done for me lately, was more of what have you provided me lately, what gifts or whatever. But now what have you done for me lately is like, when was the last time you made, you blew my back out, and it's like, if you ain't doing that, then, disregard all the other shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of shifts in our culture, in our society. And like I said, we're definitely going to be talking about that on the next CM show on Tuesday, where the conversation will be good men. And the question is going to be asked, and I am going to do a show about good women as well, because the question goes both ways. I mean, shout out to Kevin Samuels, rest in peace. He actually started the conversation. I know you ain't a big fan of his, but it did get the conversation started with a lot more engagement as far as what makes a good, what is the purpose and the role of a man in a relationship, and the purpose of a role of a woman in a relationship. The femininity and divine femininity, masculinity, divine masculinity. All of those things are necessary, because I think relationships are kind of out of whack now, and it goes back to what you said earlier as far as social media. That influence drives the narrative when it comes to certain things, because now people see it on TV and they try to emulate it, and it may not necessarily be the healthiest thing for them to do.
No, and you don't have it in your house.
Yeah.
You don't see it in your house. That for those of us of a certain age, that's where we saw the first definition of a wife, a mother, a father, a husband, a man, a woman. That's where we saw it first. Yeah. So some of these people are emulating those figures. Just saying.
It's craziness, absolute craziness. Well, Casey, I appreciate you joining us tonight. It's been fun, man. It has absolutely been fun. When I tell you I had a ball with you tonight, man.
So this week coming Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I will be with Kinked Up Atlanta Friday. If you haven't seen the post on Instagram, and I'm sure they're probably on Twitter too, I will be the Dungeon Master Friday night, and baby.
The Dungeon Master, Lord.
The Dungeon Master. First and foremost, it's about providing safe space for those who are participating. So don't let the word master
I think the dungeon
you.
part is more.
All right, so don't let the word dungeon. But it's about being responsible for creating a safe space for everyone to play. So I'm looking forward to that opportunity to not only be that in that space, but to also provide some teaching in that space. So Kinked Up ATL is this weekend coming. But as far as where you can find me on a regular, you can find me on social media at Casey at Night, and that will be on Twitter and Instagram. But you can also find me on Instagram at the Casey Carter Experience, and on Twitter at Read Casey Carter, or you can go to my website, which is casey-carter.com.
And all of that information, y'all, is in the description section below. So just, if you want to learn more about Casey, just follow her on any of those social media platforms that she just listed and that are in the description section. When I tell you, Casey is a beast at this. And also, just one of the most giving people in this, in her sector, as it were. But just as a person, and I really appreciate you, coming in like you are now, holding it down. Man, it is some powerful stuff, man, where people collaborate. We were going to talk about some collaboration stuff, but anyway, we got on some other stuff when it, the pink sauce. But anyway, I think we're going to have to save that topic for it. Well, I'm not doing a show next week, probably the week after. We'll see. But also, Casey, she just mentioned that she is a writer. I am as well. So if you haven't already done so, please grab copies of my books 1 and 2, Desperately Seeking Exclusivity and Desperately Seeking Pleasure. The information for each book is in the description section as well. Also, shout out to my sponsor, the Black Candle Box. Be sure to visit her at theblackcandlebox.com. Use the promo code TheCMShow in order to be taken care of. When I tell you, I don't have the candle lit tonight, but this show's been lit. Casey, that damn cigar you has is lit. Tell the people about your cigars as well, please.
So first and foremost, I am the brand ambassador, or one of the brand ambassadors for Ancestry Cigars, and you can find them on Instagram at Ancestry Inc. I believe it is. It is owned by a woman of color. She's out of Chicago. Big Chicago. Shout out to
Chicago has terrible pizza, by the way. Great hot dogs, but terrible pizza. But go ahead.
Well, if you want a good cigar, go to Chicago. Check out Enid Blanchard. She is amazing.
What's her name again?
Love Enid Blanchard. But look for Ancestry Cigars Inc. And otherwise, I'm not supposed to tell you what I'm smoking because I'm brand ambassador. But this was a Padron. This was Padron. Yeah.
Well, there you go. All right, Casey, thank you for tonight, y'all. I appreciate everybody that's joined the conversation in the chat. This has been a fun show, man. This has been a fun show. We've talked about everything from cucks to cigars, and man, that's what we do here on the CM Show. Y'all have a great week. Have a great weekend, and as always, y'all, stay determined. Thank you, Casey.
You're welcome.
All right, y'all.
Night, everyone.
All right.